Nobody in the audience was prepared for what was about to happen that night. The stage lights glowed softly, the judges sat with their usual serious expressions, and the crowd buzzed with curiosity. Another contestant was about to perform, and most people expected something ordinary. Maybe a pop song, maybe a nervous teenage singer, maybe a simple audition that would be forgotten in minutes. But then, a small Filipino boy walked onto the stage, dressed modestly, carrying a calm confidence that didn't match his age. The audience smiled politely, not realizing they were seconds away from witnessing something unforgettable. His presence was quiet, almost fragile, yet there was something in his eyes, a spark of purpose, a hidden fire that hinted this was not just another performance. As the boy introduced himself, the judges exchanged quick glances. He was young, soft-spoken, and seemed almost too innocent for such a massive stage. One judge leaned forward, asking what song he planned to sing. When he answered Elvis Presley, a ripple of surprise moved through the room. Elvis? From a kid? Some people chuckled. Others whispered, unsure if he even understood how legendary that name was. Elvis wasn't just a singer. He was an icon, a voice that shaped generations. The judges appeared skeptical, as if expecting a cute attempt, not a real performance. The crowd clapped politely, but the energy was cautious. Nobody expected greatness. Nobody expected history. Then it happened. The music began, slow and familiar, and the boy closed his eyes. For a brief moment, the room held its breath. And when he opened his mouth to sing, the first note that came out was not a child's voice. It was deep, rich, and shockingly powerful. A voice that carried the spirit of Elvis himself. The audience froze. The judges' faces transformed instantly. One of them blinked hard, as if trying to confirm what they were hearing was real. The sound was flawless, the tone, the emotion, the control. It didn't feel like an imitation. It felt like Elvis had returned through the voice of this unexpected young performer. Within seconds, the entire atmosphere changed. People who had been whispering were now silent. Phones lifted into the air as the crowd rushed to capture the moment. The boy sang with soul far beyond his years, delivering every lyric with passion, as if the song was part of his own story. The audience wasn't just listening, they were experiencing something rare. Some people's mouths were open in disbelief. Others felt chills crawl up their arms. This wasn't just talent. This was something deeper, a reminder that greatness can come from the most unexpected places. A kid from the Philippines, standing on a massive stage, was commanding the hearts of thousands. The judges, known for being hard to impress, were completely shaken. One judge leaned back, stunned, hands covering her face. Another whispered, "This can't be real." And then something extraordinary happened. Emotion broke through their professional masks. One judge's eyes filled with tears. They weren't crying because it was sad. They were crying because it was beautiful, because it was pure, because it was the kind of moment that reminds people why music exists in the first place. The boy wasn't just singing a song, he was carrying a dream, a legacy, and an entire audience with him. By the time the final note echoed through the theater, the room exploded. The audience rose to their feet in a thunderous, standing ovation. Cheers filled the air like a wave crashing against the stage. The boy stood there, breathing softly, almost surprised by the reaction. He smiled shyly, but in that moment, everyone knew the truth. This wasn't the end of an audition. It was the beginning of a legend. Nobody expected that voice. Nobody expected that power. But that night, a Filipino kid didn't just shock the audience. He proved that stars are born when the world least expects it.